Hey there, welcome to Bible/Chat. We're continuing our conversation about the Bible, chatting.
Yep.
And so last time we talked about why do bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
This time we want to flip that and say sort of the reverse, clearly the reverse. Why do good things happen to bad people? In other words, why does it appear that sometimes God is blessing the wicked, the unrighteous, people that don't love Him, that are very evil many times, and yet they seem to live easy, happy lives? What's going on there?
Yeah. What's definitely, yes. So this question is like, those are good things. We're not saying that they're fake good things or like God is like giving them good things only on, apparently so or anything like that.
Yeah.
And yes, people are bad. And some are worse than others. But at the end of the day, I'd say the one line answer is God has common grace, on all. Not only on people, but even on his creatures. Psalms talks about how he satisfies like every living thing. The things open up their mouths and he feeds them. He takes care of all of creation, right? Because he's their creator. He's, in that sense, like the father of all, right?
Just real quickly, any text you'd tie that to, since we're chatting about the Bible? Obviously, Psalms.
Yes.
Psalm 104.
It is sometimes you have mental lapses here.
Yeah, of course. How was seminary?
In Matthew, right? This is where, is it Matthew 5? You can say it.
No,
Matthew 5:48. Yeah. You have a good memory there.
I think it's 5:48.
No, it's in 5, where he says, 5:45. Yeah. So that you may be sons of your Father. Basically, that's the love your enemies passage. Yeah. Why? Because God causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous.
Good.
And so God is gracious to all in one sense. Not salvation-wise.
Right.
But in providing for people, making sure the weather works out, and just like the regularity of nature, all those things, he provides for all. And that's just because God is a good and kind and merciful God, right?
Yeah, and he sort of made the world in such a way that everything sort of can functionally happen, and so they receive the benefits of his kindness. That's what we're worth.
Absolutely.
So then what would you say to a person who says, I'm a Christian, but everything I do seems to go... it seems to always be broken, doesn't work out well. But then I look over this non-Christian, like he seems to be blessed, everything's working out great for him. Yeah. What's God doing there? It seems so unfair. What would you say to them?
I would say, well, it's only apparently unfair, right? It's only apparently so. Now, that may be the case. I think sometimes the believer is just misguided. They're not looking at things by faith, seeing unseen realities of how God has worked through their failures, things not working out for their, as we said last time, talking about Romans 8:28, for their ultimate spiritual good. It's easy when things are not going right for us to just look at that and to forget the gospel and to forget all the different things that we have to be grateful for that none of us deserve. We rightly deserve hell and condemnation, but God gives us grace through Christ. I would say, a text like Psalm 73, for example, right, where
that's good.
the psalmist Asaph is seeing the prosperity of the wicked. And the arrogant and those who are unbelievers and against God. And it's like, what's the point? What's the point of being righteous if they're like well-fed, they're living it up, and everything seems to be going well with them? Why try to be righteous? In vain, he says, I have kept my heart pure and washed my hands in innocence, in verse 13 of that psalm. But then he says this, like, if I spoke that way and I continued on, right, then I would have betrayed the generation of I would have gone against everything that I believe in, that I stand for, and that you've revealed to us. And what changes that, what makes him go from like, oh man, like being envious of the arrogant to a point of to being awakened, is when he comes into the sanctuary of God and he perceives their end. He thinks about, wait a minute, like if I put things on eternal scales, though my life right now may be hard, and for some believers, we can't say that your life is not going to ever have, you might have cares all your life, some people just, that might be God's will for your life. We cannot say. But at the end of the day, life is but a vapor. Eternity, if you weigh that on the scale, for the unbeliever, it might be a dream now, but they're going to wake up to a nightmare. But whereas for us, it might be a nightmare in our temporary abode, but it's actually going to wake up to be the greatest dream of all. Like the reality will be the dream, which is dwelling with Christ forever and ever. So I would try to put it that way, eternally.
Help them understand things from a long-term perspective.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hope that's helpful for you. We'll answer some more questions.